So once you start, please give me a sign in the chat or something, so I will understand. Yeah. Do not wait for someone else to come and speak for you. It's you, and you are the one who can change this world. As women, we must stand up for ourselves, for each other, for justice, for all of you. So, greeting all excellency and a very warm welcome to all in today's enlightening, education, and empowering session. I'm your dearest host for this evening, Dr. Madhi Bose, and I'm honored to extend my warm welcome to all presented here. Gratitude all the attendees who have taken out their precious time to join us. I'm delighted to welcome our expert, virtuous, masterminds, and dynamic personalities among us, our today's intellectual guest speakers. So, no country can ever over truly flourish if it stifles the potential of its women and deprives self and contribution of half of its great citizens. So, with this note, I'm profusely elated to invite an enthusiastic, generous, influential personality with refreshing perspective, Honorable Professor Dr. Vijay Caroline Ma'am, Chairman of the Life Foundation and Managing Director of C8Net, for the welcome speech, Women Justice, Freedom of Speech. Over to you, respected ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, namaste, good morning, good afternoon. A warm welcome to all the dignitaries who gathered here. Thank you very much for joining C8Tv.net and the Life Foundation as we are celebrating Women's Week to mark the International Women's Day. It's our time. This is the period, not only this week or the March 8th, we have to remember it is our day or our week. But every day we have to celebrate our existence on this earth as we are born with a purpose. God planned and given us this life to enlighten our life as well as to bring awareness and ignite the minds of the people who are deprived or underprivileged. So it is our duty. And our topic, today's topic is women justice and freedom of speech. Many of the women are victims in various ways. Are they able to have the justice? Especially if you take the Indian culture, Indian context, justice will not be reached very soon. The victims of the women will be suffering continuously, but they will not reach or enjoy the justice. It takes a lot of time. Our laws, our policies are framed in such a way that it is getting delayed. And the people who are the culprits, they knew very well how much time it takes to punish the culprits. So they are enjoying. So we women have to fight for our right, and we have to see, as we are empowered women, we have to see that women who are victimized or suffering and who are traumatized, we have to help them to lift and see that they will be, they receive the justice. Injustice has to be eradicated or curtailed. And we know the freedom of speech. If we move from the organization, from home to organization, wherever we move, that will be suppressed. They knew very well women are intellectuals, born intelligence, and even then we are the decision-making people, even the men. Most of the world is of patriotic culture, and the attitude has been in high, and they don't accept our decisions. And even we have noticed so many cases that women who are in journalism or the authors who raise their voice and find out the facts and find out the loopholes, they will be murdered. So there is no freedom of speech. So we are conducting this awareness program in the form of live webinars, especially to bring awareness of people who are victims and sufferers, to make them realize and understand there are laws. We have to make use of the laws. Many of the women, illiterates in rural background, they're not aware of laws and policies. Though it get delayed, but we women gather and raise a voice, the policies and laws will be implemented at right time, and the women who are victims will be justified. They can enjoy the life of happiness and peace as they are able to fight for their right. So we have every right to raise a voice when there is a problem or when we are oppressed. We have to raise our voice. We have every right. Freedom of speech is our right. So we have to.
We are eternally grateful for everything you have described about it. Ma'am, Evangela, ma'am, now you are a co-host. Please, ma'am, over to you. You can share the PPT. Yes, ma'am, please. We are so curious.
Let me try it. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As I have always I like sharing the words of important women around the world and sharing important quotes. So I will start with Jessica Valenti, who is an American feminist writer and the co-founder of the blog Feministing. In the words of Jessica Valenti, feminism isn't simply about being a woman in a position of power. It's battling systemic inequities. It's a social justice movement that believes sexism and classism exist and interconnect, and that they should be consistently challenged. I don't know why, but it doesn't allow me to change slide. Let me try once again. Good. Moving on to the words of Nelson Mandela, he said that in order to be free, is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. That's why today we celebrate women's justice and freedom of speech topic, and we understand how essential it is to understand the roots of the problem in the voices of important women, like Irene Khan. She mainly said that no cause can justify the abuse of human rights. Not only this, but the reason why I chose to talk about her report is because she was chosen as the special rapporteur on the promotion and protection of freedom of opinion and expression. Irene Khan was appointed as UN Special Rapporteur for Freedom of Opinion and Expression in 2020, and she's the first woman to hold this mandate. She has been widely recognized as a supporter for human rights, gender equality, and social justice. So being the Secretary General of the Amnesty International from 2001 until 2009, and Director General of the International Development Law Organization from 2010 to 2019, is one of the most important women here that has given one of the greatest reports to the Human Rights Council. This report on the gender justice and freedom of opinion and expression, mainly it recalls that the Human Rights Council adopted the resolution 23.2, adopted in June 2013, and there the mandate to report on the role of freedom of opinion and expression was in order to empower the women. So the special rapporteur is trying to adapt the gender lens And she finds that despite the impressive gains that have been made by women all over the world, gender equality and freedom of expression still remains a distant goal. She reaffirms the mutually informing nature of gender equality and the right to freedom of opinion and expression, and highlights the importance of their inclusive realization for the achievement of peace, democracy, and sustainable development. She, in a nutshell, talked about the gender equality and freedom of expression that remains a distant goal. And that's the main idea to keep in mind. I have included some report extracts, so I'm not going to paraphrase it in order to not to devalue the strength of her words. She claimed that states were failing to respect, protect, and fulfill women's equal rights to freedom of opinion and expression. Gender censorship is so pervasive that gender equality and freedom of expression remains a distant goal. Women's voices are suppressed, controlled, or punished explicitly by laws, policies, and discriminatory practices, and implicitly by social attitudes, cultural norms, and patriarchal values. Sexism and misogyny, which are dominant factors in gendered censorship, have been heightened by the rise of populist, authoritarian, and fundamentalist forces around the world. She continues by saying that in a number of countries, the online social behavior of young women, gender non-conforming people, especially those who marginalized identity, is policed by fundamentalist actors and censored and criminalized by governments under the disguise of protecting the public morals. Such action is paternalistic and misogynistic at worst. There can be no trade-off between women's right to be free from violence and the right to freedom of opinion and expression. She also said that states must not use efforts to address online gender-based violence, hate speech, and disinformation as a pretext to restrict freedom of expression beyond what is permitted under international law. If women are to recover lost ground, and if countries are to revive their economies, and if governments are to regain public trust, then women's equal right to freedom of opinion and expression must be front and center on national and international agendas. She also shared that gender justice requires not only an end to unlawful interference with women's freedom of opinion and expression, but also the creation of an enabling environment in which women can exercise their agency and participate safely, fully, and equally in the political, social, cultural, and economic life. Another important aspect is that women journalists and their freedom of expression has to be put forward. Discrimination and gender-based violence faced by women journalists is evident in the exercise of their profession. With this in mind, in that article, the basic ideas were that information and communication technologies have facilitated and expanded all the opportunities for the majority of women to participate in political, economic, cultural, social life, including the social media platforms. But the sad reality is that women still face the structural obstacles and all the discriminatory practices that exclude them from public debate and prevents them to exercise their right to express their ideas and opinions publicly. This impact of discriminatory practices is evident, and especially is evident to women that have a high public profile, women journalists, women rights defenders, and women politicians. So the Office of the Special Rapporteur states a functional definition of journalists. It is important that we allow these women to express their opinion because they are those that observe, describe, document, and analyze events. They are those that propose and they can affect society. And by affecting society, they can change the world. They can systematize the information, gather facts, and analyzing the opinions to inform all the sectors of society holistically speaking. So the quintessential meaning here is that, and message here is that it is just a question of eliminating all these obstacles, to understand the obligations of the states, and the role of women in the private sector as well, to eliminate the main obstacles and all the risks and the dangers that are faced by women journalists in the exercise of their freedom of expression. And I would like to finish with the words of Meredith Tax, who is an American writer and political activist. She has been regarded as the pioneer woman of the US women's liberation movement. And in her article, sharing the title on International Women's Day, Meredith Tax says censorship is too often overlooked in discussions on gender equality. Some extracts from her article, why the voices of women has been silenced. Because the conservatives hate and fear the voices of women. That is why even so many religions have made rules against the women preaching or even speaking in the house of worship. That is why governments keep telling women to be quiet. They just try to spread the attitude that you are in the Constitution. What else would you want? You have the vote, so there is no right for you to complain. But having a voice is also important, not just having the right to vote. Perhaps more important than a vote right. When the censors attack women writers, they do so in order to intimidate all women and keep them from using their right to free expression. So the gender-based censorship is therefore a problem, not only for women writers, but for everyone concerned with the emancipation of the role of women. Women writers have to be there. They have to understand that they are not a threat to the systems built on gender hierarchy, because this is the misconception that they are trying to spread around, that because they write and they spread their voice, they open doors for other women. And that's the reality. They need to express all the painful contradiction between men and women in their society, and they need to show and highlight the discrepancy between what society requires and what they need to be fulfilled. So women writers challenge the status quo. They make a breach in the wall of silence. They say things no one has ever said before, and they say them in print, where anyone can read and repeat them. And I would like to finish with the idea that free speech is the cornerstone of a free society. There is a need for all ideas to be heard and all ideas to be criticized. The freedom of speech helps the world to change. And without this right to express ourselves and the right of women to express their opinion, the world would not be in a position to face the problems we have. The media scene has changed over the past decade. The conventional media, the TV and newspapers, they have been supplemented by web-based social networking, the web journals and the blogs. And this is a reality that most women can take advantage of. And bearing in mind that social media platforms, if they deny anyone's right, especially women's right to express their voice, then, and their basic human rights, then these can turn them into monsters. Thank you very much for listening to me.
I think, ma'am, you always, and you have even earned every bit of it. How wonderfully you have explained. Let her bring grace, let her express. And that's what it's important in every other, because she is also a human being. She is a motherhood, and she can bring that grace, which is actually important. Now, here we go with our next great honor to invite a sculptor of humanity and a stunning personality, Miss Shokida, a young poetess and journalist, Uzbekistan. Are you there with us, ma'am? Okay. Let me call another enthusiastic personality, which is among us, Kajal Chatija, ma'am. Ma'am, are you there with us? Kajal, ma'am? Okay, so we can see or hear one of the dynamic personality among us, so down to the earth, so generous, Neha Srivastava, ma'am. Soft skill trainer and motivational speaker. Yes, ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Madhvi ma'am, for giving such a beautiful introduction. And good evening, everyone. This is Neha Srivastava, and I'm from Hyderabad. Currently, I'm working as a soft skill trainer and also working as a parenting coach. So means after listening from the dynamic speakers, means about the women empowerment and about the topic which is for today, that is women justice and freedom of speech. I'll be speaking about that. Means if we talk about freedom of speech, what do we understand by that? Means are women given the freedom? Means are they free to speak, or means they're not given the freedom to speak? Still means like in the past, women, they were so ambitious, they were so career oriented, but they're like career and emotions have been suppressed. But now everything has been changed drastically, and women are such a like means have become such a good in their personality, and they're so multi-talented. Means like after marriage also they are working on their goals and they're looking after their career. So everything has changed. I think women empowerment is like a breath of fresh air, and every woman are knowing what is their basic rights. Earlier what was happened, like in the very early age, women gets married, and they were like getting children also at a very early age, so they were not knowing about their rights. And like education, they were not educated also. Means in some like families they were not advanced, and what it was used to happen, like the girl on the initial age only, they were not getting such good education. And what happened, like due to that they were not able to make decisions, and they were not independent. So all the freedom has been snatched from them. But now our women, our girls, they are educated from the very initial stage, and they know very well what are their decisions, what rights they have to make. Means because education plays a very primarily role over here. If you are educated, you know what is good for you and what is bad for you. But if you're not educated, you don't know anything about you. So it's very important to be educated. My first point is about education. All the girls should get proper education, then only they will understand what are their rights, at what age they have to get married, whether they want children or not. Because some women are not that much healthy also, like talk about physically or mental health, but still they have been pressurized that you have to bear children at this certain age. Who are the people to judge us? I suppose we are so much, means like we are so much best, and we know everything about us. We are powerful, we are the master of our destiny. Who are the people to judge us? Who are they to tell us that you have to get married and you have to do this education? We know ourselves very well. We know our niche, our sphere of field, that where we have to go. Suppose I know that I speak very well, I'll be going in this area. If some person just drag me down, like you go in this area, don't go in this area, you go in the music field, will I be able to perform well? No. So we should know our sphere, our areas of expertise, that we are good in this, and we'll be belonging to that. And there only will be shining and will give much good productivity. So it is very important that we have to raise our voices. What is happening? We women are just listening to the people, and it's very disappointing to see. Means here also, means I'm seeing so many women after marriage, they are showing their existence from their husband's designation. Imagine, they're saying that my husband is, I am Mrs. So and so, and my husband is working as a head of HR in this group, and I belong to this. This is our existence. We have to make our own identity, and we have to prove ourselves that yes, I am Neha Srivastava and I am working, and this is me. I am independent. But still, if you will take the tag of your husband and your father, so you will not be able to prove yourself. So you women also have to raise your voice and opinions, and you have to come forward. Like means I want this. This is my. I want this. You have to raise your voice, because if you will not raise your voice from yourself, then who will raise? I suppose means people will also not understand you. So it's very important to raise our voice. If we are thinking कि means something हमारे साथ कुछ गलत हो रहा है, something wrong is happening to us, some people are trying to dominate us, are trying to make us down, there and then only we have to raise our voice. No, we want justice. This is wrong for us. We want justice, and I'm not going to bear up this. I'm not going to bear up this emotional torture. Okay. So it's very important to like become powerful at this age, and this like topic Women's Day, as Women's Day is coming near. So happy Women's Day to each and every woman over here. Everyone is powerful and everyone is like shining in their own areas. So it's so beautiful to see. And it's a beautiful message for every woman to come forward and start working on yourself rather than depending on your husband, on your father, and don't be codependent. And like justice, if we talk about justice, so many women are getting raped, but still they're not getting justice. What is happening means if we will depend on the laws, these laws are just getting delayed and delayed. And are you thinking means after rape, what inner wounds they are carrying in themselves, like mentally and physically? No one can bear that pain. So we women have to try to understand their pain, because justice, how they will get justice? Because these laws are so slow and they're getting delayed. If they go to court also means they're getting dates and dates. So it means we women have to be stronger and powerful, have to take care of ourselves. And like to these men, we have to means like give a strong, we have to be strong opinionated. And we have to give our opinion to men also, that we are equally, means we are equal in terms of gender. We are not less than you. Okay. And freedom of speech is very important, to speak our emotions, our feeling, how we are feeling. We have to speak to everyone. That is very important. But still, like after marriage and after children, women are still limited to their household goals. They're not given the rights to work on in the office, to work on their career goals. They're not getting any support. So we women like can unite together and bring them, give them power to choose whatever they feel like. And we all can just uplift all the women, because I suppose means if we will not support, then who is going to support? We are like sisters and friends, so we have to support each other. And if they're not able to raise their voice and opinions, we have to become a voice for them. And we have to ask them in which field you are lacking, what do you want exactly. If you're suffering from any kind of mental torture, any emotional torture, if you're not feeling well, you're not working well on your career, we women have got this right. We can help you in that, and we can uplift you very well. So if they're not able to raise their voice, we can become a voice for them. So that is very important, freedom of speech, कि हमें कितना जरूरी है मीन्स बोलना, और दूसरी वुमेन को भी हेल्प करना कि they also speak up their voice. Then only they'll be able to like fulfill their dreams. We all have dreams, isn't it? We all women have dreams. Means जब हम बच्चे थे, when we were child, we used to have dream, like to have chocolates, toffees from our father. Then we grew up, and now like in colleges also, we wanted to have a beautiful dress. After marriage also, then why we are not means able to pursue our dreams? Very important to look on your dreams, to work on that. Then only God is going to help you. So that is very important. And women empowerment is like really, it's becoming very, means the basic here, women right to vote we are getting, and we are knowing that what decision we can take. We have become so much independent that we know that to whom we have to vote, what decisions we have to take. Kya hota tha, what it used to happen like in terms of education also, means so many families, the big brothers and big male members like fathers, they used to guide that you have to do this education, and after that we will get you married. So इससे क्या होता था, the girl's confidence इसका पूरा गिर जाता था. Her confidence कि ठीक है मेरे तो कोई गोल ही नहीं है, I will just pursue this BCom and this BA, and then after that I will get married. I don't have any goal. No, you should have goal. You should be goal oriented from the beginning itself. Yes, I'll be working on this project. After that, after marriage also I'll be working. If I will not get chance, still I will pursue my hobbies. Hobbies, I think it's such a nice thing which builds your empire. So you should work on your hobbies and start means don't means never what to say, end your dreams. Live dreams, just dream high, and you will get all the fulfillment of wishes. That is very important. So that's all what I wanted to say, like freedom of speech. Everyone should know their rights and should start working on them. That is very important. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Madhvi ma'am, for giving a chance. And
Always love, yeah, always love your transparency, the way you come up with and speak by your heart. So there's nothing stronger. There's nothing stronger than a broken woman. There's nothing stronger than a broken woman who has rebuilt herself. So to remember, that's the one thing I would like to say. Uh, Take me as a female, take me just a girl, take me as a childish. But let me tell you guys, you should feel privileged about it that we are women. We are the sign of motherhood. Here, we can say we are the topmost, but still, we're just trying to make you equal than us. So you should feel proud about it. So, after this, I would like to call our another next amazing speaker, Taruna Kapoor, ma'am, principal. Yes, ma'am, over to you.